What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's TV review of Disney Plus's original series, What If Season 2. This is episode What If Hela Found the Ten Rings? So when it says Hela found the 10 rings, I feared she would have taken the 10 rings, but this actually completely turns it on its head and makes Hela a good person, which she was not. Her father banished her and she was a prisoner of death and stuff like that. And, you know, instead of her being in prison like he did in Thor Ragnarok, he actually sent her to Earth, banished her to Earth, and banished the thing that she wears, the big like deer antler thing. And she comes across Zhu and Wu and Jie and the Ten Rings organization. And of course, this is like set way before Shang-Chi in the of course the Ten Rings. But it's a fascinating story, to be fairly honest. I found it really engaging. I like the fact that, you know, they're mixing up these different movies that we've seen and kind of doing their kind of own spiff riff on it and stuff like that, spin riff and stuff like that. And here she learns from Jai how to kind of inner peace herself and kind of create herself into a kind of a new form. And of course, Odin, who in Hemdell, who's of course voiced by Idris Elba in this, are trying to find her, and they find her where the Ten Rings are at, and they attack the Ten Rings organization, the mystical kind of Chinese camp. And it becomes just kind of a story about how she takes the throne from Odin and how she becomes a better person, and a understanding of, and to understand death, you have to understand life, and you have to understand the nature of the power of that being. And as we see, you know, through some anime style kind of, you know, kick-ass battle sequences, the Ten Rings that Zhu Wenwu, of course, has in control of. He fights against Odin. She uses everything in her power, the staffs and stuff that she's learned how to use. And they're able to take down Odin. She gets her crown back, and she becomes like a goddess of life and death in a much more like prominent light. And I found it really fascinating, to be fairly honest. It was a really well done episode. It was something I was not expecting to like as much, because when you start cross pollinating these different adventures and different stories, they can go into weird places. But what it's starting to show, what if is starting to show in like really great light, is that you can actually take these stories and take, you know, some of your favorite stories from the MCU and kind of twist it and turn it into some really interesting material. You have a person who was hated, there's a bad person, kind of see the light of day. You have a very powerful Odin character who is kind of thrown kind of like to his knees. And you have the Ten Rings character of Zhu and Wu, who is able to kind of take down and kind of like be a force of nature and good and stuff like that. And, you know, after all these characters and it's basically like what would happen if bad guys turn good in a lot of respects. And I really like that. I really like that idea. I thought it was fascinating. I think the idea of like them going on a crusade to kind of bring inner peace, like the last episode with Kiori and her trying to create a better world for everyone, a better universe. It's a really kind of powerful message, to be fairly honest. And I think once again, Cate Blanchett is Cate Blanchett, so she does a very nice job. It's unfortunate that like Tony Logan couldn't come back for his character and stuff like that. It would have been more interesting than what we got. But it is a very cool. It's very aesthetically pleasing. I love when she goes to that mystical village that's in the movie of Shang-Chi, and she learns from, like, I think it's either the mother or somebody that the Michelle Yeoh's character is based off of and stuff like that, because it's set like hundreds, thousands of years or whatever prior, however long it is. But then at the very end of this episode, you see, of course, like, you know, you see Thanos and you see Gamora's world and how it saw in Avengers Infinity War or Endgame, whatever, which one it was. And you see Hela, and you see who's now like a force for good in life and death, and you see, of course, Wu, of course, who is the Ten Rings master, and they're chasing after her. There's like big army going after him. It cuts there, and that's what the end of the episode is. But it's a very powerful thing to watch, because therefore Thanos could not be the most powerful creature in the world if it weren't for the gauntlet. He's a very powerful creature, a very powerful entity, but that gauntlet is what really secures his his power. And here, these are individuals that are gods and goddesses and, you know, forces of like, you know, great power that are going to be able to stop Thanos. And they were able to stop Odin, who's a very powerful individual, but he's nothing without his like staff and stuff like that. So it's a really cool kind of thing. But once again, other than that, there's not much else to talk about. It doesn't lead into any other episodes at this point. I mean, we still have a couple more episodes left. But if it's a self-contained story that may have like a sequel, we'll see. But if it's a self-contained story, it's a very well put together one. It's like a 9.5 out of 10, to be fairly honest. It's a really thought out, really provoking, just kind of like idea of what you could do with Hela, and then make her kind of the 180 of what she is in Thor Ragnarok. And once again, you gotta love Cate Blanchett for coming back. She's willing to do whatever she wants to do, and she does it pretty perfectly. So the episode that is What If Hela, of course, found the 10 rings is perfect. Great episode. And once again, show season 2 is on a great trajectory for a really good season of television. So anyways, that'll do it. That'll be my take on What If Hela found the 10 rings. Comments below. What do you think of the episode? Did you like it? What do you think overall? But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, awesome. Hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.